You are live and you are good.
Okay, welcome everyone, and thank you for your patience. We had a little bit of a technical glitch, but I want to welcome everyone to the Select Board meeting of July 14th, 2026. Our first order of business is our public comment, and we would ask each individual to please identify themselves by name and address of where you reside. We take no more than 5 folks during public comment, and we ask that you keep your comments something related that is not on the agenda, and that you keep it to 2 minutes. And in this particular case, I'm going to ask our town clerk to speak first to us on an important issue.
Sure. Thank you, Chairman Toole.
Name and
Linda Hathaway, to the town clerk, reside at 76 Crescent Street, 380 Green Road. Been a long time here. So my reason to come tonight was to let everyone know that Secretary Galvin's Elections Division has started mailing out the vote by mail cards. You may have already gotten the postcards, but they're rolling them out. 351 communities, and they started last week. We expect to have the primary ballots by the second week in August, and as soon as we get them, we will be mailing those out. So if anybody wants to vote by mail, get your cards in. If you're registered as an unenrolled voter, also known as independent, be sure to check off which party ballot. You have to tell us whether you want a Democrat or Republican, because if you don't, you're not gonna get a ballot in the primary. If you don't wanna vote in the primary, just mark off November, and those ballots will be ready in October. The other thing to do is make sure that you're registered to vote, that you're in the right location. Some people have moved within town, and some people may be registered in a political party but wanna vote the other one. So you can do that online, and we'll have links on our town clerk's webpage as well as the Secretary of State's. They have a lot. You can track your ballot, you can register to vote, you can see who the elected officials are, and who is going to be on the ballot. And as soon as we get a copy of our ballots, then we will post it online, and you can actually see the layout and see the ballot as you would on election day. My only other comment is don't wait till the last day. Get them in as soon as possible. Don't drop them in the mail just a couple of days before the election or the primary. We're saying mail them at least a week prior to the primary, or drop them off in the blue box, the ballot drop box down by the front door.
thank you.
Thank you.
One question?
Sure.
Can people do this in person at
Oh,
your
yes.
office as well?
Thank you. Yes. Starting Saturday, August 22nd from 9 to 5, there's in-person voting, and it'll be downstairs in the lower level of the town building, also known as the former library location. And then on Monday and Wednesday of the following week, we're 8:30 to 4, and then Tuesday and Thursday of that week, we will be 8:30 to 7. That's August 22nd through August 28th. And all that information will be online, and it's in our newspaper, the Stow Independent, or the Independent of Bolton, Stow and Bolton. Our municipal newsletter, I believe, has it. The COA newsletter has it. It's gonna be distributed everywhere.
Okay, as well as on our regular online.
Yes, it'll be on our website.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Absolutely. I just wanted to let
Yeah,
folks know
yes.
that is still an option.
it is still an option, and if you don't wanna fill out a form, show up in person. Otherwise, you gotta fill out a card and you gotta mail it, whatever.
Okay, thank you very much. I think I wanna look online first. I don't see any hands raised from anyone. Okay, and is there anybody else in the room? Seeing and hearing none, we'll move on to board member updates. Hector?
Nothing to update. I went into South Boston yesterday and it was beautiful to experience, and I was enjoying the orange moon, sun we have today, thanks to the smog and the smoke, but that's my only update.
Okay. Make a board.
Nothing from me.
Dan?
Besides
since we last met, happy 250th anniversary to the US, and hope everyone had a good 4th of July. There was just wanted to give this as a reminder to everyone, the mural project that's happening this weekend. It's a great town event, assisting a young woman earn her gold award in the Girl Scouts. So that's happening on Hartley Road from 10 to 2. You don't have to stay the whole time, as I understand it. You can just drop by. There is in the library. There's a QR code. There's a pamphlet that I saw there. So that's great. And then also, in case anyone was not aware at our last meeting, there was a really lively, I felt really helpful and informative discussion with the Board of Health regarding the level 3 drought condition. So just want to remind everyone about that and to be mindful of water consumption.
Thank you.
He didn't leave me anything left. No, capital obviously hasn't met yet, and otherwise than that, life is good.
Great. My only comment is I had the opportunity, along with Rep. Kate Hogan and others, to do a reading of Frederick Douglass on what the 4th of July means to a slave. To say that it was a moving piece that was written by Mr. Douglass is an understatement. And it was received and went over very well. So I really want to put a congratulations out to Kelly Waller and her team for putting all of that together. It really was incredible. And Town Administrator's Report.
Thank you. Barton Road is being paved this week, courtesy of the residents that own the road. It is a private road. Detours are in place. It is expected to take the week. So thank you to all of those residents who contributed and are taking part in that. As Dan mentioned, Katerina Romano's Community Paint Day is this coming Saturday. Parking is available at Center School or the former fire station parking lot, and you can find the QR code and information on our Facebook page. Just a reminder for folks, there's been some issues over the last few months. The town building closes to the public at noontime on Fridays. If something is due that day and you want to deliver it in person, including a tax bill, it must be here by noon. That's when you can deliver it. That's when it is expected to be received. People that show up in the afternoon, other employees should not be taking those payments, should not be taking those applications. There are time-sensitive deadlines on all of the stuff we take. So that is a noontime deadline, or you can leave it in the box and it will be collected when the staff goes to the mailbox or comes in on Monday. So we've been putting that out as reminders because it's been several years now and people still feel like we should be open and available all day on Friday, and we are not. I am pleased to report that the fire department finally received their new ambulance that was approved at the 2023 annual town meeting. That was delivered in June. It looks beautiful. So hoping for more trucks that we approved years ago to come in soon. So you will now see that out on the road. And also, we have installed another fire suppression cistern. So those of you that were on the board when this project started, the funding has come through the state, courtesy of Kate Hogan. She's gotten us an earmark every year for the last several years. This is our fourth cistern, third cistern with these funds. Third completed cistern. This is at the entrance to Town Forest. And I just heard from Kate that she has another 150 earmarked for us for fiscal '27, so we can continue with another cistern. Originally, when this project started, they were much less expensive to purchase and install, and she was hoping to wrap it up with a couple $100,000, and now they're about $150,000 per cistern to purchase and install. So we are slowly making our way. There were 13 areas of town that the fire department identified as vulnerable, and we are making our way through that. She is actually using Stow and the cistern project as a pilot project for the state, because there are a number of communities that are entirely well communities that don't have a public water source. So she is using this to show how state funds can be used for the benefit of a number of reasons, but this mainly it's fire suppression, but it helps obviously in times of critical droughts and other issues. So thank you to Kate Hogan for her work in getting us these funds, and we will put the next round to good use as well. And that is it tonight.
Okay, thank you. I'm just gonna take one moment. I debated as to whether or not I was gonna mention it, but I think I will. I wanted to give a shout out to the fire department and to the police. We had an unfortunate incident in medical emergency at our house. And we saw firsthand the new ambulance. Unfortunately,
Had to be at the front of the line.
Yeah.
yeah. It wasn't me, but I do want to seriously take a moment and say how grateful I am, as well as Allison, for the professionalism and the service that they put forth in assisting medically to the individual. It really was a difficult moment, but a proud moment, I have to say. So I really want to say thank you to Barry and his crew, as well as to Mike and his crew. And with that, we'll move on to appointments. Now, the first one, I know this individual intimately, and I have to say, I'm really hesitant about this guy, but it's myself, JT Toole, to the Zoning Board of Appeals as a full member through June 30th, 2031. Is there a motion?
Well, usually you'll ask our town administrator if she wants to add anything. That's your normal, we're just following normal protocol here,
Okay, we can do it.
unless you feel so confident.
No, I was gonna do motion and second and then.
Oh, for goodness sake. Which would you prefer? Motion and second?
Sure.
Okay. I approve, excuse me, was a slip. I move to appoint JT Toole to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a
Second.
5-year term expiring June 30th, 2031.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Comments, Madam Administrator?
Yes. So obviously I'm putting the appointment forward. We've talked about the need for members on the ZBA. We had a few leave. They are coming up to a critical time with applications specifically for 40B projects. In my weekly discussions with JT, we talked about how prior select board members have stepped up to fill in the seat. He offered to fill in, so I have no problem with that if he wants to fill in and participate on the ZBA. I think he'd be great. Just to continue the conversation a moment, so Debbie Woods had also applied for the ZBA. She initially applied as an associate, and then when a position became vacant, she applied for the full seat. I am recommending her for the 1-year term, the remainder of the term, just because I have a little hesitation where she's now a voting associate of the planning board and would be a voting member on the zoning board, and that gives me a little cause for concern voting on the board that sets the bylaw and then the enforcement. So I put her in the 1-year seat I don't envision any problems, but I figured that would at least work out any issues if there's a conflict or an appearance of. Full disclosure, Lenny Golder applied after the fact for a full seat. I'd already stated now that he's on the school committee and the assessors, I don't think he should be serving on a third committee in a appointed role, in a voting role, so I would not have moved him forward anyways. So that's where we are.
Can you handle it?
I think so. I did offer my services. I've been licensed unrestricted construction supervisor for over 30 years and have dealt with numerous projects, from projects in the millions upon millions of dollars to smaller residential, and in most cases they have dealt with non-conforming situations, so I've had to deal in different communities and townships with different boards and obviously ZBAs. So I felt it just made some sense for me and a desire to continue to serve the community as best I can.
And I will say, you did mention that you are the only board member not serving in a liaison role on another committee, so he thought it was appropriate.
Right, because I gave the capital planning to Brian. So, any other comments, concerns? Seeing and hearing none, huh? None.
Go ahead.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let the record show it's unanimous. And next would be Deb Woods to the Zoning Board of Appeals. I'll take the motion.
I move to appoint Deb Woods to the Zoning Board of Appeals for the remainder of a 5-year term expiring June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded.
I will just add, I'm sorry, we do have signed board and committee code of conduct forms on everyone that's put before you.
I saw that note.
So we do have
on
that,
the-
yes.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Any further comments from anyone? Seeing and hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let the record show it's unanimous. I'll take the next motion, please.
I move to appoint Daniel Rowley as DPW Director for the Town of Stow through June 30th, 2027.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments?
He was just missed because his original start date was off cycle, he just was not on the reappointment list, so this is a formality.
We just run 2 weeks without a deputy?
No, but we'll just make it official again.
Okay. Any other comments? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Let the record show it's unanimous. And Ryan Butler, conditionally, we'll take a motion on that.
I move to appoint Ryan Butler conditionally to the position of firefighter EMT for the Stow Fire Department through June 30th, 2027. Further, I move to authorize the town administrator to ratify the appointment formally upon completion of all requisite exams.
Second.
Comments?
Yes, so the fire chief is on vacation, he was gonna try and find service to just join us. The reason we don't have a big show of fire department employees for this, because you're supposed to be taking summer break. We had a resignation in the fire department, the last time we had a resignation, we did a full-time process and we put together a hiring list. So we had candidates ready to move up should there be a vacancy. So we didn't want to miss out on the opportunity that once he met all of his requirements, he could start. So that's why I'm having you give us the blessing, so that once he's signed off and HR has all the required documentation from his exams, I can make his formal appointment date. And I told the chief at that point, we can have a more formal pinning ceremony at the station, or even at your August meeting to make it more official, but this is just to get the ball rolling, so we didn't miss out on the 6 weeks or so where you were on a break.
Great. I would love to have him at the August meeting for full recognition. The rest of the board agrees with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Let the record show it's unanimous. Okay. Next on our agenda is the donation of furniture. And before we get into that, actually, I have a couple of things I'd like to read out. A certificate of appreciation to the Randall Library Friends Association. In grateful recognition of your extraordinary generosity and steadfast commitment to the town of Stow, your remarkable donation of all indoor and outdoor furnishings for the newly renovated Randall Library, valued at $214,905.75, has created welcoming and inspiring spaces that will serve our community for generations to come. The impact of this donation will be felt every day by every person who walks through the library doors, whether someone is attending a children's story time, studying for an exam, participating in a community meeting, or simply enjoying a quiet place to read. They will benefit from the generosity and vision of the Randall Library Friends. The town of Stow is deeply grateful for this extraordinary contribution. We are proud to formally accept this gift and extend our sincere appreciation to every member, volunteer, donor, and supporter of the Randall Library Friends Association. Your generosity has left a lasting legacy for our community, and we thank you for helping make the new Randall Library a place where everyone belongs. And with that, I will take a motion.
I move to accept the donation of furniture for the Randall Library by the Randall Library Friends Association effective June 30th, 2026.
Second.
With it moved and seconded, any comments?
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It was amazing.
A pleasure,
huge amount of money.
the effort. If I may, I'd like to call out two people. Kathleen Pavlicek, who's our treasurer, who took upon herself to create a bunch of separate accounts and manage the investments wisely of all the donations that came in. And also Melissa Rollins, who is a quiet volunteer for many nonprofits in town. She did all the work for all the graphic design that we needed, all of the communication pieces that were created. And I just want to thank both of them. We wouldn't have been as successful as we were without the work of both of them.
Well, thank you
Thank
to
you.
them as well. So again, congratulations, Lisa.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Thank you very much on behalf of the whole group. Appreciate it.
Hold on.
Oh,
All right.
here,
You
hold
wanna,
on.
hold on, yeah, come on. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.
JT.
Do you want to give this as well?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yeah,
A bit of.
oh, yeah.
Take off the sticky.
That makes Kathleen happy, thank you.
Yes. Now I can do the books.
Very good, okay. Next on the
Did you
agenda,
vote?
Did we vote on it?
We voted.
You have a motion and a second.
Yeah.
yes, any further discussion?
Can't do much beyond that.
With none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Let the record show, it is heartily unanimous. Next on the agenda, Assabet Craft Beer and Food Truck Festival. I'll take a motion, please.
For all three?
Um,
And before you do the motion, if I might add, I'm gonna go sit in the audience and recuse myself from the select board for this.
okay,
And answer questions if needed.
I think we could do them all three at once.
I'm sorry?
I think we can do all three at once.
Yes, I think in this case we can, because it's under one event.
You ready then?
Yes, I'm ready for the motion.
I move to approve a special event permit for the Assabet Craft Beer and Food Truck Festival to be held at the Unitarian Universalist congregation in the Assabet Valley. Event manager Scott Feldhusen on Saturday, September 5th, 2026 from 12 noon until 4 p.m. Further, I move to approve a one-day liquor license for the Assabet Craft Beer and Food Truck Festival. Scott Feldhusen, event manager, to serve beer from various breweries, always in trouble with that word, in a delineated area at the Unitarian Universalist congregation in the Assabet Valley on Saturday, September 5th from 12 noon until 4. And finally, I move to approve an entertainment permit for the Assabet Craft Beer and Food Truck Festival to be held at the Unitarian Universalist congregation in the Assabet Valley on Saturday, September 5th from 12 noon until 4 p.m.
May I make a correction? I believe the one-day license should be until 5 p.m. I think you did that last year, right?
Yes, we did.
We did.
So if you would accept that friendly change.
Okay, so moved.
Yes.
Second.
Thank you.
Sorry, I thought we were all doing all three.
Yep.
Sorry.
Okay. We
That
did
was
all
good.
three
Oh,
in one.
I thought we did too. Apologies.
Not a problem. Okay, comments, questions?
This was a great event last year, so I'm anticipating it will be similar this year.
It's one of my favorite beer and food truck festivals because it's walkable.
Me too.
That's
always very helpful. Completely, just, stay to the right. Stay to the
Personally
right,
sounding
stay to the
like
right, stay to the right.
I am assuming that Denise, all of the paperwork and everything submitted has gone through.
Yes.
There was one question that I think I may be wrong about, all the insurance certificates, none of them, they labeled the church as additional insureds, but does the town have to be an additional insured in any of these?
I believe Hector just sent it to me this evening, so let me just make sure that we are on there.
Principal's office.
So the town is the certificate holder on the one that came in tonight.
Good, okay, great, that was my only question. I beat you to it.
Okay, and the walkthrough is going to happen, I'm assuming, with public safety?
Yes, as always, the morning of.
The morning of, okay. And,
May I ask a question?
yes,
So this year, your map changed a little bit. In the past, you've had, right, you did wristbands and a tent. Are you eliminating I'm sorry, it was ID per purchase and you switched to the wristbands, I think, last year, right?
No, we've always done it.
Oh, you've always done that? Okay. Is there a delineated area for, I didn't see that on the map that all alcohol had to stay in a certain area. It just seemed to be the event in its entirety.
It's always been just the event.
Within the
Entire-
church grounds, yeah.
Okay,
You can't go
And
past,
common room.
you can't get on the common
okay.
alcohol.
But it does include common road, which is not
Yes.
church property.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
And we have it all taped off.
okay.
With
But
the-
anywhere where the event is, someone could roam around.
Sure.
Okay.
other comments, questions? Common Road, speaking of that, is it gonna be closed?
Yes, Common Road is closed off each year.
Interesting, okay. And you do have from the permit, details.
Yes, that's part of the agreement with the Stow Police.
Okay.
Yeah, that was all in the packet.
I thought it was, but,
It was buried underneath stuff,
yeah,
so it was easy to miss.
Yes, I will just add that it's this board that closes the road. So if the time comes that the road is reopened by the event, that's part of this process. So you
Right.
approving the permit approve the road being closed. Either police, they only close it in emergencies, you obviously control the road. So that is part of your approval because it was part of the request.
thanks, cause that was gonna be one of my questions. Okay, well, that all got answered. Any other comments, questions, concerns? I'm looking forward to it, I can tell you that.
How many years in a row now have you guys run this?
This is our
That's
fifth, yeah.
one, yeah.
But the planning is taking 10.
But didn't you tell me yesterday it's so much easier now?
Yes, it is. but
I'm sad I can't go this
I
year.
think we know what to do.
I'll be out of town.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sad about it.
And we do it definitely with the assistance of the fire and the police.
Oh, for sure.
That's great. I know you have tips and all of that, I saw all of that, that's all taken care of.
Crowd
And
manager
managers
tips,
as
yeah.
well.
Manager and all
All
that,
that
which,
is-
thank you very much for taking that into consideration and dealing with that as well. Okay. Any other comments? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Let the record show it is unanimous amongst the four.
Thank you all for your support, once again, appreciate it. Please come.
Thank you. So Joyce will send those out, the approved
Thank you.
licenses.
Thanks a lot.
I was very happy.
The,
I'll have a beer with you at your event.
Well, that's even better. You can have several.
I was offering the board a free,
No, don't do that.
beer ticket.
No.
You come see me, you'll get your free beer.
okay, and moving on to our next topic, I'll take the
I'm
motion.
returning my pen.
Oh,
Thank you.
honorable man.
The next motion.
Sorry. I move to approve a common victualler license for Blake International Corp., Masters Academy International, 688 Great Road, Carrie Ann Donnelly, manager, valid through December 31st, 2026.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Do we have Carrie Ann here?
Yes, she is on.
Ah, okay. Hi, Carrie Ann.
Hi there, how are you?
Terrific as always. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you.
Great. Can you just kind of give us a bit of a description of the process and what's happening and from, beginning to?
Yep. Absolutely, so I work for a company called Flip, we fall under the Compass umbrella. We will be managing the dining facility at Masters Academy. So we will be taking care of all their dining for the students and the faculty staff, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 7 days a week.
Okay.
How many meals a day is that?
What was that?
I said, how many meals a day is that?
How many meals a day? 3, 6, it's probably about close to 800.
Wow.
Okay. And you have everything set up obviously for refuse and recycling and composting and all that good stuff.
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions?
Nope, everything's fallen
Hector.
into place.
I noticed on their certificate of insurance, it covers a liquor liability.
Yeah, I noticed that. I think that was because that's on the line.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know.
Will there be liquor served at all? Okay.
No, not at all.
It was just the way it was listed all in one thing. It's-
Yeah, okay.
It's almost like cookie cutter,
Exactly.
one size fits all, yeah.
Well, and their parent company may serve in other places that do have alcohol, so it may be an umbrella policy for the company in general that has a liquor liability as part of their overall policy, but it doesn't pertain to MAI.
So MAI, they wouldn't have like some sort of a function where wine would be served or anything?
No, they would need a special license. They're not getting a liquor license for the campus, for a high school campus.
Okay. No, I'm just thinking like colleges do it all the time, that's all.
This ain't no college.
Yeah, well, it's.
And even college, the kids are still underage.
Right, well, it's for the alumni.
Oh, for goodness sake. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Let the record show it's unanimous. Thank you very much, Carrie Ann.
Yeah.
All right, and next on our agenda, perfect timing. Why don't you come right up front, Valerie?
Of course.
This is an update on the Town Center Study Project.
Yes.
All right, enlighten us.
Thank you. Well, thanks for inviting me in to give you all a brief update on the project. It's been, I think about 2 years since we were last discussing this in front of the select board, so do appreciate the time. The project is intended to improve safety for all users in town center, looking at vehicle safety, pedestrian and cyclist safety. And when we talk about town center for this project, we're using a more broad area than I think we typically do. So this is the length of Great Road from Packard to the eastern intersection with Crescent Street, Gleasondale Road from the light down to Circuit Drive, and then the full length of Hartley Road, Library Hill Road, Crescent Street, and Common Road. So it's quite a lot of intersections and a lot of different types of uses within all of those different connections. So we want to make sure that all of these changes that are being looked at in a more comprehensive manner. So the types of changes that we are looking at right now are things like signal timing, optimization, complete streets improvements like sidewalks, shared use paths, physically separated bicycle lanes, all things to make sure that that anyone feels comfortable getting to and from different areas in town center. We have schools, some dense neighborhoods, library, town building, so there's a lot going on. We want to make sure that people are able to move through safely. So the last time that we were here, we had our engineers provide a presentation on their very initial concept plans and as well as their report on existing conditions and some of the data that they've looked at. At that time, we heard some positive questions, some positive feedback, but we really just didn't hear from that many people. So we took some time to chat with a few different owners in Town Center, just to make sure that we understood how their properties are functioning, what their specific concerns are. We heard things about wanting to maintain driveway access with some of these ideas, concerns about mailboxes and mailbox placement, but other important details about how they use their property. So after that, we looked at creating a survey just to better understand how people use the area. We got about 177 responses on that. And all of that is to say that essentially we were told that we were moving in the right direction. And this is certainly not the last public input we would get on this type of project. This is really just the concept phase. When we get to 25% design, we're able to show folks a little more clearly what we're looking to do, and we'll hope to get more feedback then. So I did have to pause the project for a little while. My department was juggling quite a few different projects, long-term planning efforts, zoning revisions, and we just didn't quite have the capacity. And then during that pause, there were also questions that came up around Common Road and the future condition of Common Road. So we essentially don't want to move forward unless we have a final resolution, some final directive from the select board on how you would like us to proceed. So in this memo that I've provided, we have a lot of different data that we've collected on Common Road from engineers over the years, information from the Complete Streets prioritization plan, the state's, the MPO's intersection study that they did, as well as information from our current engineers that we're using to create these concept plans. So I'm happy to answer any questions you all might have about the data or anything related to the project. I can.
On Common Road, I noticed that the curb has been extended in front of the library. And I wanted to clarify, has that extension been done as part of requirement for distance for curb from the building, or can we bust it up and go back to doing a two-way street and put it right back to the way it was?
I'm not quite sure how to answer that question. So I can say the curbing was not altered as part of the town center project, so we're still very much in the concept phase.
Okay. If we were to consider putting Common Road back to a two-way street, would that be an option? Just busting it up and putting Common Road exactly the way it was, or would it require shifting Common Road two-way?
It would require shifting because the discussion that we had prior to the library was the library terrace was going to be built out. So everything was pushed out on the library property and then the sidewalk. So there would still need to be shifting even if you eliminated the sidewalk because we built the library out.
So that would also include having to figure out how to move the memorial or do something with the memorial?
So more than likely, in preliminary conversations with the DPW director, the public safety departments, in order to go back to a two-way road, they need and to account for parking that is required under the ZBA decision, they need 30 feet. So stand at the curb and walk 30 feet, it is well past the monuments.
Okay.
So I think even if you eliminate the sidewalk, it's well in that buffer.
So if we look at that petition that was voted on at the last town meeting, it's not just a simple matter of put Common Road back exactly the way it was and life goes on as a two-way street.
Well, no, actually, that was not the motion that was put forth.
No, but I think to Hector's point, it's not, we couldn't just say, okay, the curb's gone, it's a two-way street. I don't believe, and perhaps we could have a more formal, I did not want to spend more money looking at the cost, looking what would need to move until we had more direction. Physically just standing there's a telephone pole in the corner that needs to move, there's the water main that runs the water down to the church and to the common. There are trees that would be in that sort of right-of-way path and the monuments. Then you deal with the sidewalk. If the sidewalk is eliminated, that sort of has played into the Complete Streets project, having sidewalks, so we'd have to figure out what to do. We'd still have to do curbing and something to put back there. So I don't know what that costs, and I don't know how far that goes, but those just standing there looking at it all come into play when we talk about doing something, reverting something, or changing that road again.
I just wanted to make sure that it was on record for all those that were interested in having Common Road go back to a two-way street. It's not just a matter of busting up the current curb and put the road exactly the way it was. It's gonna be a lot bigger project to actually put it into a two-way street, and I just wanted that confirmed.
I would say the mere thought of ripping up a sidewalk that was just put in is not something we would want to entertain when we are trying to encourage a walkable community and access to our public spaces and our public buildings.
Well, and also moving war memorials that honor heroes of the town and things like that, yeah. Okay.
But I don't mean to interrupt, but I think part of Valerie's overall study, and her and I have talked about this, and it's something, and the board conceptually has had a conversation about it, that as part of this, you could ask the engineer to just look at Common Road alone as a standalone amendment to the contract and give a more formal recommendation to the board. If you'd like a more formal study of just Common Road, that is still an option. We have an engineer under contract, an amendment could be put forward. So if that's something the board would like to get additional data, I think Valerie could probably fill you in on what they could do, but that is an option if the board needs some guidance.
That was in your memo, and it was
And
determined not
actually,
to.
it's actually in my notes. That's one of the things I actually was gonna be bringing up before I did that, necessarily pertaining to asking the engineer to take a look at Common Road. It's been closed. Do we need to open it as the proposed one-way to get the data that we need since it's been closed, or can it be, can the study be done with it existing as it is now?
I did check in with the engineers about that exact question, and they said that it can remain closed as it is now. So they'll look back at data they've already collected. They understand how many parking spaces are available in that area, so they can use their software to try to mimic if the area was at capacity, what would happen.
Okay.
Can I add a comment to that? Oh, sorry, you go.
No, I think the board actually did ask first, so direct.
So I am concerned about segmenting the project like that, which was, I believe, what the planning board was also concerned. If you just take out one street without considering all the non-signalized intersections and the one signalized intersection, it's not data that fits with the rest of, they've already done this data with everything. And so taking out Common Road as one road is, why would we do it again? It's already been done.
I did chat a little bit more with the engineers. So I think the comment in the memo was more if we were to potentially ignore Common Road and take it completely out of the study and look at all the other roads instead, that would be that would have some negative impacts on how the road is used and how we design other intersections. It is certainly a possibility to have the engineers look just at Common Road with the data they've already gathered from all the other intersections and understand or at least evaluate multiple different options of what the final condition of the roadway could be and just recommend what they think is best.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, but I still don't like it, but that's okay, we can move on. I'm not a traffic engineer, none of us are, so we have to rely on data that's provided to us by engineers. I mean, I have other questions, but you can go ahead.
Speaking of data, my favorite thing to talk about, I'm just gonna go from the top with my list of questions, hope you'll forgive me for that. The Boston MPO technical report. Can I get the full version of that?
Sure.
Awesome. Because I had some questions about like the monitoring, what windows they were using for binning their data collection endpoints.
Yep.
But there,
Yes, yeah, that is all in there. The full report should be available on our website. But I might not have provided that to you.
I acknowledge I'm a nerd, and I ask for data sets that are far more comprehensive than most people want. Just looking at some of the initial data, and again, this sort of comes back to my first question. They measured for a period of time the peak morning and afternoon traffic on Common Road, and it was 500 heading. I'm going to call it from I believe they referred to it as northwest, from Great Road towards Library Hill. 500 vehicles in that direction, 1 in the other. So during peak hours, that road is used historically as a one-way road.
I think it,
So my question is, that's one was my question of like what the off-peak bin looks like. Because that would be, or if they shifted what they considered peak bin, because they do mention further on that they separate peak weekday versus peak weekend.
So one of my frustrations with this type of study that the MPO does is that it is not that comprehensive. So they do have limited resources for these types of studies. So it was a 7-day period in November, and they only looked at on weekdays between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. and on one Saturday between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. So we don't have the data for the other hours. That's true.
So
One thing that the MPO
Saturdays 10 to 2, you said?
Yes, that's correct. So one thing the MPO did recommend was a study catching the Sunday traffic. Understanding that this is an active church that has events at other times during the week, but certainly they did not take a look at the Sunday.
Okay.
It is on the website. I sent you the link to the page. You'll just have to scroll down to the town center transportation box. There's a few other projects on the page.
Cool. And then they did note that, nope, you already answered that question, my last comment is, as someone who drives the intersection going down Library Hill towards Great Road, towards that intersection, I love that design that's in the little thing there, that's beautiful.
On which
there's a
study?
little thing there. We don't have a crystal ball.
That one there, this
Oh,
one,
got it.
because I am always taking that left, because that's the left I have to take to everything, because I live at the top of Crescent Road.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Good to know.
Thank you, you handled all of my questions really quickly, appreciate that.
Dan, do you have anything?
Yeah.
One thing that I had a little trouble understanding was table 4 in your memo, which talked about the different common road as a one-way, add a permissive left turn lane. Is the left turn lane, as you would be driving easterly, there would be a dedicated lane that would allow traffic to move into the church end of the road? Is that what that is?
So this is a permissive left-hand turn at this intersection that Brian was referring to. So as you go from Library Hill Road toward the light. So should we add a permissive left onto Great Road from Library Hill Road or a protected left at that point? So they studied the impact of that as in a silo, and then they also looked at what if we did a permissive or protected left hand there with making Common Road a one-way. So they were looking at how those two function together.
Well, so I mean, maybe I don't get, I understood that part of the complexity with making it a one-way is those people that are coming from the west can no longer just go up Library Hill and in, right? So now they have to go past and turn left into Common Road, which at certain times of day is a nightmare. So I guess then the question is, how is that turn accommodated by the town center traffic study?
Yeah, so that would be something that we would look at, how would we kind of tee off that intersection so that it doesn't function so much as a slip lane for folks who are going west. But also maybe there's something that can be done there to help folks that are trying to turn left into it. Just to make it more clear to drivers that that is an actively used intersection.
Right, and there may have to be, striping that says, do not block this, just like there is out here.
And no one listens to it.
Everybody-
They sit on that X as people are trying to turn in and out of this building all day long. It drives me crazy. But
But, you know, maybe we do, there's other ways.
There are
Right.
other ideas
Yes.
certainly,
Yeah.
and the consultants are aware that that is a concern.
Yeah, so I would, cause I think that's, so thank you for clarifying, that was really it, was like, how are we dealing with that left turn, so now I'm done.
Okay. So, do
So
we,
you have one more clarifying question.
I'm sorry?
I do have one more clarifying question I wanna ask.
Sure.
I just wanna make sure I understand, you're saying that if we open Common Road as a one-way now, pave it and let it be used, it would be no benefit to understanding how Common Road could be used compared to just leaving it closed for however long.
I guess it would depend on what you want to put in the scope of work. If you wanted to ask an engineer to redo the traffic counts, but it's tough because you wouldn't get both ways. You would only be getting the one-way condition. So it's probably better to just look at historic data there and try to simulate what you can. I think the engineers were also mentioning that there could be a problem in the future with drivers if you keep, shutting it off, having it one way, going to two-way. It creates a lot of confusion. So there's also a kind of a public safety component to keeping it consistent.
Didn't we vote to open it as one way? Did I? Yes. So is that
Originally.
gonna happen?
yeah, we were waiting, so yes and no. We are intending to, Dan was planning to have that as part of his summer paving. I've kind of held him off a little bit because I don't want to start work and then have to dig it up if we have to change something. So I've sort of slowed the process because I didn't know where we were going with this direction. And same thing, I don't want to just keep throwing money at it if we're going to dig it up and do something else. So I think, given that the timing, we will proceed with not doing a ton of work, but it's really bad. So he was planning to level it out and put a binding coat just to make it passable. If it makes sense to open it while we go through this, whatever the next phase is. But to Valerie's point, I don't know if it's helpful to open it with then the possibility of closing it with the possibility of making it two-way. So I guess it just comes back to, do we open it and see where we go? Finish the town center study?
I have a question for the chair. Are we resolving this tonight?
What I was hoping to do and what I was going to recommend is that we recommend the existing engineer to really evaluate Common Road itself. It sounds like we don't necessarily have to open the road at this point in time for that evaluation, for the data to be reviewed. For us to be able to do that, it's simply a matter of amending our contract for the engineers to look at Common Road as it relates to the town center, focusing on traffic, pedestrian traffic, and safety itself.
So this would be expanding upon I apologize.
No, that's okay.
So this would be a sort of expanding upon the current statement and work with them to include the consideration of Common Road.
Correct.
Or just Common Road? As
So I would say a little bit of both. I think it's to give a more thorough evaluation of Common Road at this point. So we're not taking it out of the study, but it's to give you more data on just Common Road.
don't we have that data?
You do, but there's been so much discussion around it.
No,
There's
I'm
been
sorry.
some-
I think that we don't just
Well-
throw money at getting duplicative data when we have the data and it can be used and advice can be made. That's me personally.
So I completely agree, but what I would caution you, because Common Road is not on your agenda. So this is about the center. I would say if you are looking at engineering, you could incorporate that. If you were planning to take any more formal votes on Common Road because of the interest, I think that should be on the agenda and you should have a more formal discussion on that. So I think if, and I'm not putting words in any, if everyone's good with where we stand based on what you have in front of you, we'll continue as we are, we'll put it on your August agenda,
Put Common Road on
put Common Road on your agenda
alone.
as an agenda item.
Center study, which the planning department is looking for guidance from the select board. To do what? Say it again, I know you said it in your opening sentence, but I need to understand it.
Just to get a final resolution on this issue, so that we're not continuing.
What's this issue?
Whether or not there will be some action based on that, the citizens petition, and whether Common Road is going to continue to be questioned. My concern with it is I don't want this to color the town center project as we move forward. So I know this is gonna keep, I believe this is going to keep coming up as I do public outreach for the 25%, for the 75%, for the 100%. And every time this is asked, we're asking for funding through town meeting. So it's, in some ways, it is very helpful to pose the question that we have not posed, which is to an engineer, which is evaluate 3 options and tell us pros and cons.
So what are the 3 options?
Keep the road closed permanently, make it a one-way, make it a two-way. Look at all 3 options.
How much money is that? I mean, can't we do that with our current data? I mean,
Well, they already have.
They have provided the
They
opinion.
already have provided an opinion.
well, so then, so we have that data, so I think maybe what you have to do for us, because maybe Brian would understand it, but write it for dummies. You put it in your memo, but if the road is closed permanently, right, there's certain turning movements and changes and things that, first of all, the light will have more traffic going through it, there'll be more stalling, more delay, more air pollution, all those things that, it's already a level of service D, I believe,
C.
at peak times. C?
If I may, I don't want to derail you because I think your
Yes.
points are valid. That table 4 actually outlines the fact that the consideration of Common Road does not materially impact any of the traffic delay times for the signalized intersections in that region.
So you're
Did I get that
or
right?
it's
It's
saying,
really only for Library Hill Road.
It's only for Library Hill Road, okay.
because, so no, you're saying, not you, the report is saying that there's 500 northwest bound traffic. I mean, see, this is why we can't be making this decision, right? Because we're not traffic engineers, so those 500 vehicles now have to go through the intersection. And it's
All those
already,
500 vehicles have been going through the intersection because the road's been closed for.
right, but we have that data supposedly.
So
I mean, that's
I
how they
think-
did that table C.
Well, the table C was done
I mean, table
Before-
4, table 4.
before the Common Road was closed. All that study was done before Common Road was closed.
Yes, that was,
But the data is
So,
there,
I
sorry,
don't know that I do have that data.
okay.
Because I have not asked an engineer to evaluate those 3 options. So both the MPO and our engineers for the town center project, both were told that the road is going to be a one-way, and to assume that.
Okay, so now they would have to add, and that's probably pretty simple computer data. Instead of having those 500 vehicles peel off, they stay in, and what happens to the wait time on that light? And
I
how many
do-
cycles will people have to wait through?
I do still think that would be an additional services amendment to the contract. We did scope for traffic counts for this specific study, but we've already spent the funding on that for town center as a whole. So I do still think that there would need to be additional funding to get that specific data. And I'm also not an engineer, so I can't add
know.
narrative interpretation where I don't have it, so.
Denise?
I think based on the conversations that have happened since town meeting in this room, email correspondences, I think it makes sense. Town meeting appropriated $100,000, so let's use a couple thousand. I don't expect it to be more than that. We're not talking a huge project. I think it's in the board's best interest to put together an amendment or have Valerie put together an amendment to just give you more data on whether it's the three choices, whether it's, so I do wanna just remind everybody that when we had this conversation a few years ago and the board voted the one way, it was twofold. It was for the library project to continue as designed and for the town center. It wasn't, and we did have feedback from the engineer that actually recommended to close it all together. If you remember, we decided to make it a one-way. It wasn't that we just picked that out of thin air. But I think for this, and I think for the board, it will be helpful to have a little more data. Perhaps they can get it done in 6 weeks to come back at your August meeting, look at the data, look at what Valerie's provided you for tonight, look at everything else, we can go out and take measurements of what 30 feet actually looks like, and you can make a decision once and for all on an agenda item so that everything's taken into consideration and we can move forward with finishing the road, the study, however it needs to be. But I feel like you should have a little more data from an impartial engineer.
Okay, and that sounds fine because we're not, but I would also suggest that the special permit you said that requires parking be amended so that we don't have to have 30 feet. So maybe we can reduce that by 12 feet without parking. You know, that kind of thing can also be a separate track. So,
It can, if the ZBA allows it to be removed. I don't know how they, I mean,
yeah, right, exactly. You know, we're in a position of rethinking what our decisions were. The planning board is in the position of rethinking, the ZBA may have to be. I mean, the whole thing is multiple commissions and committees and boards are being asked to look at this at this time.
I do wanna correct something I said earlier. Brian, you were right. The, I am sorry, the table 4 is for,
Yeah, I was,
Gotcha.
yeah.
It's for 117 as well?
yes,
Oh, okay.
it's for the whole.
And they do note
Yeah.
that they did that under the condition, they actually recommended it because they didn't know that we were planning to do it one way. So their actual recommendation from MPO was to consider making it one way westbound.
Or I'm not gonna get into it anymore. I will
Right.
just, no, it's fine. Each one of these comments makes me go, yeah, but, so anyway, let's stop the yeah buts and,
So that's why I'm asking if we want to move forward and recommend that our existing engineer, which the planning board has already under contract, to amend it to take a closer look and bring back the data to us at our August meeting.
sure, and let's itemize that data. Road closed, road one way, road two way. And the two way should consider both the parking and the non-parking. If they can do conceptual plans, that kicks our budget up, boom. So if we just want data that shows those arrows, right? I would also like to know, or it's up to the board, but I would also like to know how a dedicated left turn lane on 117 into the church helps or not. Do we have the right of way? Do we have the physical capacity to, I know that part of the road is very narrow on the south side and maybe we have to take more
You're saying
public.
for eastbound cars?
Thank you, yes,
Okay.
yes, sorry if I said that wrong.
No, you didn't, I was just clarifying.
I would rather see, if we're taking land out of the common to accommodate this, I would rather see it at the end where the church is, at the point, and you make that more of a T instead of such a narrow turn. And that be the area that we look at maybe
Okay, so
taking
that's
some
another
common
option, yes.
instead of,
Yes, so what are the mitigating left turn options that they could recommend for eastbound travelers? Yeah, so, right, cause I don't know if the road is wide enough. So yeah, I agree with that. So any mitigating options there?
Okay. With what Ingeborg is suggesting, does anybody have any issues with that?
I would only add, can we also look at closing Common Road off at 117? What would it do?
Well, that's part of closing one.
wait a minute, closing it at the other end?
At the other end.
I thought that we were talking about closing the whole road.
No, I think he was talking about closing at the Library
Leaving
Hill
it
side.
closed as it is one option. That's the closed road option.
Yeah.
Opening the Library Hill
I thought we
and
were
closing
just
the
boom.
117 end, what would that look like in traffic.
That would be it. Thanks.
That again brings us back to, it would require us making that other end two-way, which is gonna make me ask the one question that I didn't wanna ask tonight, which is, could I get a ballpark, like just based on your experience, what a project of the scale of gaining 30 feet of road, just in excavation costs?
I can tell you to move a telephone pole,
How much does it cost to move a telephone pole?
$38,000.
Okay,
That's just the pole.
I think looking at closing Common Road at the opposite end, where the flow of traffic goes westbound up Common Road. I don't know if they'll have the data to give you that information.
They could do a simulation, if they're using simulators, they could do a simulation,
Only
just so
for
that we have
garbage
all
in,
our
garbage
options.
out on
Cause I know there was
You can hang
one
around Sundays.
option to actually close that end initially when it was discussed, what to do with Common Road. Close the eastern end rather than the western end.
I think we're expanding our scope, but if that's what the board wants, we
Well,
can
we have that
continue to
$100,000.
Well, we still need a driveway.
Okay.
I don't,
Truck can't
I
go
don't,
up.
I don't understand. He's been waiting for 15 minutes now.
No, it's fine, but wouldn't that create like especially on Sundays, just a nightmare if that's your only entrance?
I'm just looking at options and data. I'm not,
But I understand that, but it would though, right?
it could, yeah.
Okay. To his point, nobody, when we talk one way, we're just talking west, traffic flowing west, not traffic going from Library Hill to 117 when we talk about one. Nobody's proposing that as a one-way option.
I have not heard that, no.
No,
Okay.
the one-way
Just
is
wanted to clarify that.
literally in front of the library only. Two-way traffic in the church parking lot, two-way traffic the rest of Common Road.
Yep.
From the library property to Library Hill is one way.
Okay,
And in the direction of Great Road to Library Hill.
Right.
okay. And then one thing I just wanna clarify, when you're talking about like leveling and just, just smoothing it, getting it ready for pavement and everything, I'm just curious whose purview this falls under. There's like sort of like an alcove parking between the library and the church. Is that the church's property? Is it the library's property? Is it like sort of town sort of commonly shared? How's that?
So there are designated parking spaces for the library that are at the library property. So there are a few parking spaces
There's
there.
like
that-
5 there.
Yeah, we expanded for the project. Then there's sort of diagonal parking that the actual property line goes right through. So we have an understanding with the church, it always has been, if we need them, we park there. When they need them on Sundays and the library's closed, they park there. But like the staff has been parking in those spots or
Right,
across the
yeah.
street because they're sort of communal property. The line goes literally right through that diagonal.
Any smoothing, leveling, and paving, is that going to include that area? Because right now it's just sort of like this, dirt. It kind of blends with the road right now. It's like there's.
So the long term, yes, but I think if we're talking about getting the road open, it's just the piece at the library that's unpassable.
Yeah, no, prioritize that. I agree wholeheartedly. I'm just curious. Okay, thank you.
I have one legislative question. Common land is, wouldn't we have to go to the state to get, isn't it chapter 61 land or?
I don't think so, not the common.
Didn't we have that conversation when we were talking about it last year or 2 years ago? I remember there was discussion about we had to take 2 feet
Mhm.
of that land. And it didn't
I
have to go.
think we had the
No.
discussion about possibly asking the town.
You voted to take 2 feet of the land when we shifted the library, so that was part of your discussion, to make it one way, add the parking, shift the 2 feet into the
So it
common.
doesn't need state approval.
No.
All right, so I think we have a scope.
I think Linda was wondering if she
I just have one question. It's not about Common Road.
I wasn't gonna take public comment,
Okay.
but I will. Go ahead.
My question was, I've read the report, Valerie, and it was talking about Crescent Street becoming one way from West Acton Road to the east end of Crescent Street. Is that how I interpreted the discussion?
other way
I think it was the other way.
But I mean, but between, that's the section, from
Yes.
West Acton Road to Crescent Street.
Yes, that's just a concept that is being.
Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna
Very,
tell you, how do I get my farm equipment from my house to the 2 streets, to the 2 fields down the road on Crescent Street.
Understood.
Thank you, that's all I wanted to make. I've been on that road 3 or 4 times this week with my hay equipment. My hay equipment cannot go through the center of town. It's dangerous already going from South Acton to West Acton to Crescent Street. So that's just,
So if I may, I will work with Valerie to come up with a scope based on things you've said tonight. We will ask if it can be done. I don't know if it can be done in the 6 weeks. I mean, obviously, engineers have plans to for the summer. So we will target your August meeting, but if it's not, we'll just target whatever meeting it's available to have an agenda item to provide this data and hopefully wrap this up.
Sounds good.
If not in August, the hope would be at least in through September.
Yeah, I think we'd like it as soon as possible, but
Yes.
I don't know if August is feasible at this point. So, if that is good with you.
But in the meantime, can we pave what's left of common roads so the library can use it?
So they are using it as much as they can, but it's really, so if you are okay with me having Dan put money into it, we will open it up. I'll get him on it to.
Business has to continue.
It does, okay. I will talk to him.
Is everybody else fine with getting it paved and opening the road to vote as the
I have one more
one?
question. So to Valerie, if the board finalizes their direction with Common Road, literally and figuratively, what does that do for your town center study? Does that get us, I mean, I know we didn't fund the next part of the design, but how does that get you back into motion with this project?
Yes, then we would look to finalize the concept plans and finish up this phase of the project and look for grant funding for the 25% plus likely a town meeting request. Yeah, get to finish it up and move forward.
And once we have the 25%, we can get on the tip. That's the
We can
hope.
attempt to, yes. Yes,
Okay.
Well, we have a new rep on our
yes, yeah.
MAPC committee, so
Yeah.
I haven't gone to the last meeting, so I'll get there.
okay, great.
Valerie, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you very much, Valerie.
And it's a complex project, obviously, and a rather large one for the town with lots of different things going on and moving parts, so thank you.
I love large, complex problems. It's great. All for it.
Well,
Yep.
we'll talk, I've got a couple we can.
Thank you all, I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you, Valerie.
Next on the agenda is the Neshoba Regional School District Lease Agreement Extension Request. I am going to ask that we table this. This is a 20-year lease, folks. This is not a short-term lease at all. Denise, has our council even reviewed any of this?
No, so we received the request on June 30th with the lease that expires June 30th. The original lease was dated 1994, I think, with the expiration of June 30th of 26, because there was an amendment at one point. So it has not gone back to council. It still lists the Pompasiticate School as a school in there, so clearly there needs to be some work. And one of the other issues that I would like to see, if you will allow me to have conversations with the school, if this is something that we can do. In my regular monthly meetings with Arnie, talking about Green Advisory, we're a climate leader, we get all this grant funding. We have been actively looking at taking the new technical assistance money that we get as a climate leader to install solar panels on Center School. However, the current agreement and the way the current budgets are set up is just utility savings. They save on electricity. That is spread across the district in their entire budget. So if we put the investment in to put solar panels, we use our grant funding, we do not get the sole benefit of that. Because we're actually a municipal light and the other two communities are not, we're paying more than we should be. So I would like to find a way to, on things like that create an actual either revenue, because quite honestly, the solar panels, there's times that it could generate revenue. So we need to figure out if that's something that can be incorporated into a lease agreement, that the town directly gets those savings and the benefits, and it's not spread across the district, because otherwise, we'll use those grants and update the municipal buildings where we see the benefits one-to-one. So that's some of the stuff that I would like to look at. Again, having it come to us on June 30th for a July 1st renewal was a little surprising. So I would ask that you hold off, and, I mean, we're already operating, it's not like we're gonna give up the lease. We just need to work through some of these terms and clean up the agreement. So I haven't even approached the school, I haven't even told them that we wanna at least revise the correct schools that are in there. But if the board is okay holding off, I will talk to the school, I will talk to council and see what we can do to maybe make some, again, not crazy, but we should be seeing the benefit of our investment.
So you said if we allow you to, do we need to make a vote?
No, but you could vote to renew the lease, that's what I'm saying. So if you're not gonna renew the lease, I will start exploring some other options with the school.
But they won't be kicked to the curb until then.
We're not gonna kick them out, obviously.
We're not gonna kick our first graders out.
Good.
No, it's my understanding that it continues in its existing state right now until we get it squared away. Okay. So no action on that at this point, is what I would recommend, if the board agrees. Okay, so we'll take no action on that right now until, you come back with, data and give also the board a chance to review that data as well. Great. Our next item, the drought follow-up discussion from the Board of Health. I'm also gonna recommend no action on this. It is my understanding the board did not vote on a recommendation back to us.
So I did not attend their meeting. It was not on their agenda, and the memo with the recommendations came from the chair directly before their meeting. So I don't believe those recommendations came from the Board of Health. They came from the chair, which is noted throughout her recommendation. It says the Board of Health chair. It was not on their agenda.
I'm recommending no action. I don't feel comfortable endorsing a recommendation from one person, albeit the chair of a board. I think there needs to be a formalized process where it's reviewed by the board before it comes back to us with an official vote that yes, this is actually what they are recommending, and then we can move forward with it if we wish to endorse.
I would agree with that. I would just also add that we look forward to this, that we're in support of the phrase, they're proposing a phrase that it's like, whatever it is, a rah, yes, our groundwater is wonderful, right? So I think that in spirit, we are, or at least I personally am very much in favor of the work that they're doing, but I do agree with JT that it should be a full board input.
With that, Denise, from the conversation we did have at our last meeting, we have posted a bunch of information.
Yes, so after the last meeting, the very next day, we got a page up on our website with all information. We put a news and notice on our website that went out to the distribution list as well as our Facebook page. We now have a weekly drought advisory that we put out on social media, and I think I had 5 or 6 pages in our July newsletter about it. So we are actively doing stuff. We are putting information out through my office, our office.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen a few posts on Facebook and everything.
Some of them are downright ugly.
That's Facebook.
It's unfortunate.
Our posts?
No,
Oh.
no, the unofficial town of Stow,
Oh, the comments
Just
from residents.
very mean, very mean.
Yeah,
Just
I know.
don't, you can't listen to you cannot listen to
I-
the
Anonymous
internet,
postings.
the anonymous internet machine.
Let's move on.
I don't even wanna recognize that, it's just, it's nasty, I mean, it's ugly stuff. And we don't need
But
to
for
give it
slogans, I did
time.
like Mary's slogan of "Your well, our water." It works well.
Can we just get a comment back to the chair to say, you know, yes, in spirit, we're with them, but we'd really like a formalized vote? Thank you.
And with formalized vote, so I think, you know,
Of their recommendations.
right, but to Ingeborg's, I guess, point, do you want recommendations even on like the slogan? I mean, I know they put a slogan, there is like some comments
There's a
in there.
recommended slogan.
So you want more finalized or formalized recommendations from them?
If there's debate amongst the board, what's the slogan or
Okay.
what's the message, you know, I don't know, I didn't attend the meeting, so and I'm not. But yeah, just some unanimous decision that, yeah, this is what we wanna do.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, then moving on. Approve the September primary election warrant. I will take a motion on that.
I move to accept and sign the warrant for the September primary election as presented by the town clerk.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Let the record show it's unanimous.
Look good, great job.
You have to wait an hour and a half for that, didn't you?
No, I was entertaining.
She
I
didn't have
actually wanted
to. She
that, I wanted
chose
that Crescent Street comment.
Oh, okay.
And now, next on the agenda is to review and approve the revisions to the home rule petition.
Yes, we did.
Print-free notices. Denise?
Yes, so if you'll recall, I asked the board to support, a request to go to the state legislature to allow us to have print-free legal notices, aside where the state law requires it to be in a newspaper of wide distribution. Council drafted the language, it went to town meeting, they approved it, but a caveat in the language of that town meeting approved gave the select board the authority to make changes, as needed. The House Council came back and made some changes that council felt were substantial, but only because they changed words. That doesn't necessarily change the context, but it had some changes. So it should come back before you to bless the language, so I can tell the House legislature, the House Council, that we have agreed to their changes and they can put it back before them for a vote. So it's really a formality, but there are some changes that council felt should come back before you.
Okay, and with that, I'll take a motion.
I move to approve revisions to the home rule petition to allow print-free notices.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Sorry.
Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Let the record show it's unanimous. And then we have the FY '26 year-end transfers.
Yes, you have a revised sheet in front of you. Today was the last day for fiscal '26 bills to be processed. When the accountant was doing them, we've discovered some additional utility bills in the facilities department. So the transfer amount increased. We are moving more money under the utilities. That's more than we need. It adds some cushion in case something else shows up in the next few days that needs to be encumbered. If it's not spent, it falls to free cash. So the other items are salary related because we pay based on the day. And I don't check every line item, so some budgets are 52.1 instead of 52.2. We missed a day of payroll, so that's just salary for a day for those people. Otherwise, it's just moving to cover our utility bills, which have skyrocketed.
Okay,
So 21,154, and the finance committee just met and approved it before this meeting.
Out of curiosity, oh, sorry.
I move to, did I already do that? No. Did we read the motion yet?
You do not.
Okay. I move to approve the fiscal year 2026 year-end transfers as presented by the town administrator.
Second.
further discussion or questions?
The utility bills, have those been at all affected by the electric car charges that the town now has?
No, but funny you ask that. So we are taking in approximately $1,200 a year in revenue from the car charges. The electric bill on them is about $900 a year. And the service is $2,500 a year.
Oh my goodness.
So I actually had to pay the subscription for the service from the subscription line that sort of caught all of our subscriptions because we don't have the money. I told Arnie I will agree to it for 1 year while we reevaluate, and if it's not worth it. So we are charging 35 cents per kilowatt hour for public use. In order to break even, we would have to go to 70 cents at least, and no one's gonna use it at 70 cents, and then we'll have to cover all the costs ourselves. So I will be honest, this is not uncommon. Communities that have put in public charging stations are closing them because they are not cost effective. People can get much lower rates in their own home. It's really for travelers, people coming through, they list them on a public site. So I've agreed to cover the cost out of sort of my accounts for 1 year to see, but we're not doing well with those public charges.
Interesting. Okay. That's too bad.
So, and that's not even covered because that's a revolving fund, so
Okay.
that doesn't even count these bills.
Do you mind repeating those numbers?
Which numbers, the
The
overall?
revenue and then blank.
So the revenue, we're taking in about $1,200 a year. The electric bill's about $900, and the cost for the software to run the two machines is $2,500.
Too short.
And we charge 35 cents a kilowatt hour.
The subscription is killing us.
Subscription. They're the ones killing us.
Yeah. Yep, the software to run them.
Okay. Well, with that, any further questions, comments? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, I will take the next motion, please.
I move to accept the meeting minutes of the June 23rd, 2026 meeting.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any comments, concerns, questions? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
I was just gonna compliment them. We had a bit of a discussion that night and they summarized it. It was summarized very nicely, so. And my name was left out of it all.
That's the part you really like.
Yeah, cause I was raising Cain and it didn't show up.
Okay, for board correspondence, we did receive from Alan Fierce, and I'm assuming some of that information we used. So I just publicly again wanna thank Alan.
Yeah.
And for also thank him for following through to get that information out to us, so that we could then get it out. We did also receive correspondence from the Baradas, feedback on Boxborough Road. Nancy Muldari, repaving 2 Stow roads. Valerie, notice of decision for 124 Great Road. And 2 from Kelly Lawler on the Rediscover Mapledale. She's asking, I think, to be on a future agenda.
I think so, yes.
What is our August agenda looking like?
I don't know, I'd have to pull it up. We don't have much, well, we have a couple of moved items, but right now,
Coffin Road.
We'll, let's see if we can put that on the August agenda.
Sure.
And accommodate to have Kelly
Yeah,
come
cause
in.
that event is at the end of August.
Yeah, it's kinda late. When's our meeting in August? Early August?
24th maybe,
And and the event
The
is,
29th.
it's 5 days, it is almost a week. I
So
know it's kinda-
what kind of thing would we do? Just hear about it and say, nice thing? I mean, they're looking for sponsorship to, or are they looking,
I don't believe they're looking, based on the 2 emails, they said they're not looking for sponsorship. Part of it is.
just PR, right? Just get the
Some of
message
it's
out?
PR, some of it's PR, and some of it is they've got this sort of historical exhibit
Exactly,
that
right.
they're hoping to after the event, do like a roadshow with. But I don't see any request for funding or support in any of this, other than just sort of acknowledgement and a microphone.
I thought they were also looking to put some signs up around town.
Well, that's part of the traveling show, right? Or other signs, are you saying?
That's what I thought.
Well, signs fall under the building department, so if they're looking for like
Okay.
the staked signs, that would go through the building department. So
So
I
there's
can
really
follow up
nothing-
with her about the agenda item and see if there's anything.
All right, I mean, maybe in August, we could talk about giving them space with the historical exhibit in the town building, maybe, I don't know. Or the library could possibly be a sort, but I'm sure that she'd ask those entities themselves.
Yeah, and we can follow up and see. I don't know how big the exhibit is, I don't know what it entails.
I don't know, it was big, she had pictures, it's a big thing, but yeah.
With that, Mr. Chair, I make a motion we adjourn.
You guys are screwing up my minutes tonight.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Thank you all very much.
Okay, good meeting.
Trying to put a comment on it. Tired.
I
Tired.
Before everybody